The Sewing Advisor is awesome. What we're going to do is we're going to walk you through what it means and how to use it to your benefit. So right here is what we're going to talk about. We have fabric pictures, A through G, and techniques numbered 1 through 7. So I always tell people, if you don't know what fabric you need, I want you to be on a woven medium. Fabric B. So A, B, and C look like woven fabrics. C would be like a denim fabric. A would be more like a silk or a satin, something lightweight. But B, and the one thing I want you to notice is that when we change these fabrics, watch the stitch length. I'm right now on a woven lightweight fabrics. We usually use a shorter stitch length. Finer needle, smaller hole, yes. Look, and it's done that for us. So if we go to a woven medium, stitch length increases to 2.5. And on something heavy, we usually make the stitch length longer so you don't have all those tiny, tiny stitches as it's trying to pull it through. Also recommends a larger needle. But not only does this change your settings based on your fabric, but it also changes the pressure of this foot. The foot has a sensor in it, so it'll sense and push down harder on some fabrics and lighter on others, especially as we get to the stretch fabrics. Fabric D is stretch light. Look, it even recommends a stretch needle. Stretch needles usually have a little yellow indication on it, so it changes even that on your screen. E, stretch medium, so like a lightweight or medium weight t-shirt or even a sweatshirt weight. And then we go up to F, which is stretch heavy. That could be a fleece or something like that. The length gets longer, bigger needle, and the pressure is reduced. So it's going to kind of come down on your fabric, the foot, but not like squish it. We want it to glide over it so it doesn't come out wavy. If you've ever had that happen, if you tell this machine what fabric you're working on, it will eliminate that completely. Now, fabric G is going to come up as leather or also vinyl. And notice too, it recommends a foot H, which is a non-stick foot. That is a foot that is optional for this machine, so it will glide across and not stick to the bottom of your foot. Now, you have those little glide soles that came with your accessories. You can make any foot non-stick by sticking those stickers on the underneath side of any of the metal feet, and that would also simulate it. All right, so now that we know a little bit about the fabric options, let's talk about the techniques. So every fabric and every technique may recommend different stitches. So let's talk about technique number 1. That's just the seam. So that seam will be set up for the length that you need. Technique number 2 is an overcast. So if you don't have a serger, or if you do have a serger and don't want to change it over, this is going to be the correct stitch and the correct foot for a woven medium fabric. Now notice if we pick more of a stretch medium or a stretch heavy, you're seeing that the foot changes, the stitch either gets a little bit bigger or a little smaller based on what fabric we pick. So technique number 3, seaming an overcast. We're going to do videos on these and you'll see me come back to the Sewing Advisor because it's going to help me. Sometimes we're going to have foot J, that's the overlock foot, and sometimes we'll have like a regular B foot to help move that along. Stitches change, settings change, and pressure changes. Number 4, a basting stitch. Notice a basting stitch is long. That's probably pretty obvious, right? And you could have just made a straight stitch as long as possible. But not only does it make it longer, it also changes the tension. So if I just go back to a regular seam, the tension is about 4.6. That's about normal. But if I go to basting, the stitch reduces. That makes the stitch remove itself super easy, and I'll show you in our basting video how that works. All right, basting 4. Technique number 5, blind hem. Sometimes I can't remember which stitch is my blind hem because I've got different stitches that look like this, but some go to the right, some go to the left. Which foot do I use again? Oh yeah, if I just use the Sewing Advisor, pick technique number 5 and it shows blind hem, it will tell me the right foot, and also adjust the bite of this for different widths depending on my fabric that I'm working with. So that is great. Blind hem, all set up, ready to go. Last one, a hemming stitch. So this will be great for different types of hems. Depending on the fabric you pick, you'll get different stitches. The last one, buttonholes. You notice you have quite a few buttonholes on this machine. which one is the right one for the fabric. Pick your fabric, pick buttonhole. You'll be guided to which foot to use, whether it's going to be the automatic foot with the red wheel that you plug in, or the manual foot that would be something where you're going to set it up for the length that you're doing. Tension also changes to make that buttonhole look super pretty. And again, depending on which fabric, sometimes, here's a picture where on a stretch heavy, for a buttonhole, it recommends cording the buttonhole, and we will do that in our buttonhole video. So super fun. Make sure you get this kind of understood, kind of get you into your understanding. Oh, I just touched the part that switches those over from sewing to embroidery. That's these two little buttons. And you can actually zip over there, peek around without actually having to put the module on until you're ready to actually stitch it out. So if you touch something and you lose all your sewing stitches, that is how you get it back. All right, so back to normal. I'm going to set it for woven medium and technique. Look, puts me right back to a straight stitch. That's also the quickest way to get to a straight stitch, is to pick technique number 1 in the Sewing Advisor.